over here is our brew house. So this is basically where the beer is started. So we have our mashed water tun here. This is essentially where the grain is steeped in hot water, and the extraction of the sugars and the flavors from the grain comes out in here. And so it spends approximately an hour in this tank right here. And then from there on, we pump the sweet liquid, which is called wort, into our boil kettle. And in our boil kettle, we generally boil anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. And so what that's doing is concentrating the liquid, and it's also sterilizing it so that the bacteria and everything that was in the grain is no longer viable. And then from there, after it's done boiling, what we do is we send it through a heat exchanger. You have to cool it down very quickly. So it goes from boiling to approximately anywhere from 62 to 68 degrees, depending on the type of yeast that we're using for that particular beer. So we cool it way down, it goes to the heat exchanger, and we pump it into one of our fermentation tanks. And then once it's in one of the fermentation tanks, it's generally in here for anywhere from 7 to 14 days. Sometimes a little bit longer depending on the style of the beer. If it's an ale, it's in here for a shorter amount of time. If it's a lager, then it is kept in there for months sometimes, lagering or at a very cool temperature. So once it's done in the fermenter, what we do with that then is we send it over to one of our other tanks. One of the final steps is in a tank called a bright tank. And so these tanks have been designed specifically to be pressurized. So once the beer is over here, we carbonate or pressurize the tank, give the beer CO2, and then we keg it over here as well. So, and then roll the kegs into our cold storage facility, and they're available for the tap room.